In just 75 days, I reversed my biological age by 4.5 years. I improved tons of biomarkers, and I lost nearly 30 pounds. I did this by following Brian Johnson's blueprint diet and exercise protocol, and I used Andrew Huberman's sleep routine to optimize my sleep. Now, all of this is great, and I'm really happy with my results, but what if I could help someone else make a meaningful change in their life? Over the next 100 days, that's exactly what I'm setting out to do. This is my good friend and father-in-law, Bill. He's a 62-year-old solo entrepreneur who has agreed to join me in my endeavors to live a longer and fuller life. Over the next 100 days, I'm going to be guiding him through a 4-phase protocol inspired by the work of Dr. Peter Attia. I'm going to cover the phases of the protocol in detail, but first, here's why getting healthy matters for Bill. This is Atlanta, Georgia, and the year is 2003. Now, for the years leading up to 2003, Bill had been working for a home building company.
In my position as operations manager, I could see the amount of money that was being made, and I felt like the only way that you could participate in that level of profits was as an owner. So in 2003, I felt like I was ready to go out on my own. And 2003 was a good time for the economy, and the business really ramped up quick.
So in 2003, he set out on his own and started CLM Homes, and things really started to take off. Then, as the year 2007 was coming to a close, the tides began to shift.
The bankers made irresponsible loans to homeowners, permitted them to buy property on margin.
Signs were everywhere, but now it's official, we are in a recession.
I thought that as soon as you get the house landscaped, almost done, the buyer would magically appear. I remember going to a closing and the mortgage lender said, "This will be the last 100% mortgage you see."
Over the past few weeks, many Americans have felt anxiety about their finances and their future.
The housing market collapse created one financial crisis after another.
U.S. financial markets in crisis.
It was tough. I had a bunch of houses going, and each closing that happened gave me another lifeline.
On social media, you get this one-sided picture of entrepreneurship. Everyone is curating a highlight reel of the good sides of being self-employed. What's often left out is the amount of stress that can come with running your own business. The added stress that came with the 2008 financial crisis eventually caught up to Bill.
We always drove up on Thanksgiving weekend. The next morning I woke up, bad pain in my chest. The pain wasn't going away and didn't feel good. And I said, let's go on to the hospital, make sure this isn't anything. They checked me out and they didn't think that there was anything wrong, but they weren't going to let me go because it was Thanksgiving Day and they wanted to put a stress test on me, but that department was closed. And so they kept monitoring me, and over time, the enzymes that indicate that you're having a heart attack started to increase, and they called code. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is serious. Being self-employed, you're always used to, well, I've got to do something. This is a crisis. What can I do? Well, this didn't really feel like anything I could do anything about. And, I said, well, I guess I got to visualize some future event that only can occur if I come out of this alive. So I visualized walking my oldest daughter down the aisle. I felt like I created a future event that gave me a bridge that I had to live to get there. As we were going in, they give you a paralytic. The next thing I know, I'm laying there paralyzed because of the paralytic, and the way my eyes are back, I can kind of see the light a little bit, but I hear what's going on, and they're intubating me. Learned later that this had occurred after they had done 4 minutes of CPR. They'd shocked me 6 times to get me going. So I woke up 2 days later in ICU.
Not too long from now, it will have been 10 years since Bill's heart attack. Over the next 100 days, my goal is to help Bill implement a series of small changes that will eventually compound and create large results. In my opinion, one of the most important aspects of any longevity protocol is to make sure that it's sustainable. If the protocol gets great short-term results, but it's too hard to sustain, then what's it really worth? So over the next 100 days, our goal is to improve 3 key areas: diet, sleep, and exercise. We're going to introduce changes and improvements in 4 phases. Phase 1 runs from weeks 1 to 4. During this phase, we're shifting Bill to a diet that's mostly composed of plant-based whole foods. This diet took a lot of inspiration from Brian Johnson's blueprint diet. Next week, I'm posting an in-depth look at how I've modified the diet. Bill will also be intermittent fasting with an 8-hour eating window and then fasting for 16 hours. This isn't as hardcore as the 6-hour eating window on the blueprint diet, but as I mentioned earlier, the idea is to ramp up to some of these larger changes. During phase 1, Bill also gets one 8-hour cheat window every week. I got this idea from Tim Ferriss's slow carb diet, which I used to successfully lose and keep off over 20 pounds last year. When you're getting into these types of diets, you're going to have a lot of cravings to begin with. And for me, the cheat day helped me manage that. What I found is that on my first cheat days, I went kind of crazy. Like I would eat an entire box of donuts or drink 2 milkshakes or just something insane like that. But that made me feel so disgusting that after a few cheat days like that, I decided that maybe on cheat day, I would just have a pastry and then stick to my normal diet. During phase 1, Bill is also implementing 45 minutes a day of light cardio. That basically just means going on a walk on the treadmill or a walk in the park. Phase 2 starts on week 5, and the idea is to implement 2 new things during this phase. The first is sleep tracking. Most people I know underestimate the importance of sleep and overestimate how well they actually sleep. For months now, I've been tracking and improving my sleep with the Whoop 4.0, and I absolutely love it. I've implemented many parts of Andrew Huberman's sleep protocol to improve my sleep, and it's amazing how much better I feel now that I'm consistently getting good sleep. If you want to know more, there's a video up here that you can click on. So during phase 2, I'm going to have Bill wear a Whoop 4.0, and we'll start capturing his sleep data and seeing what we can do to improve that. The second thing that we're implementing is 3 days of stability training in the gym every week. So this is mainly stuff with light dumbbells, bands, and body weight. We're looking to build a foundation for some strength training in the next phase, which is phase 3, and that starts on week 9. So in phase 3, Bill is going to hop on a strength training routine in the gym. Now, to be clear, this isn't like CrossFit or something. During this time, he'll still be doing light cardio as well. One of the big goals when introducing strength training is to avoid injury. If you get injured by strength training, then that could set you back weeks. So the progression is going to be relatively slow. The second thing that we're going to do in phase 3 is look at how we can improve sleep. So this might include sleep supplementation like magnesium threonate, apigenin. I might see if I can get Bill to try some blue light glasses. We're going to use the data that we captured in phase 2 and then use that to help him sleep better in phase 3. The fourth and final phase of this 100-day period starts on week 13. This is the measurement and results phase. During this, we'll look at blood work. I'm going to try to get Bill to wear a continuous glucose monitor. We'll do some metabolic testing. Then we'll nicely package this all in a video and share the results with you. The idea is to use the data from our results to set goals and priorities for the next 100 days. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for sticking with me. Let me know what questions you have in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you want to see the results we're able to achieve, make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.